I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Lois Tiley,
Present.
Diane Dennis,
Here.
Richard Horner,
Here.
Michael Nesbitt,
Present.
Kathy Harris,
Here.
and Sarah Tiley.
Here.
Any adjustments to the agenda as presented?
I'd like to add letter I, the Saginaw Future Contract. And letter J, STC Hometown Days.
Motion to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
Support.
I'll support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public announcements? Yes, sir, speak. Come up to the microphone, please, and give us your name, speak loudly. We're old. I'm old.
Will do. President Horner, thank you, members of the council and public. My name is Andrew Kincannon. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Smith Bogle in Saginaw. I believe in addition to Mr. Campbell, we've done the occasional bit of work for you folks. My partner, Adam Flory, is on my committee and as my treasurer. I'm running in the primary August 2nd for the circuit court in Saginaw County. There are 5 circuit court seats. This one has been made available due to the retirement by age of Judge Jim Borchard. Of the 4 candidates in the race, or 5, I have 28 years of legal experience, which is more than twice any other candidate. I have 25 years here in the community. I've been with Smith Bogle since February of 1997. I've tried 24 civil cases and a couple of criminal cases. I have had over 50 appeals. I have done a lot of municipal work, both for and on behalf or against municipalities, DDAs, commissions, and the like. And I've had a very extensive litigation practice. And the reason that's important is that this is a circuit court judgeship, which is all manner of jurisdiction. Civil cases over $25,000, family law, divorce, criminal cases, which primarily are felonies, statutory claims, constitutional claims. To the extent that you're ever caught up in litigation, it's, you know, things with the DDA Act or things of that nature. You're gonna have issues with the drain code. Those are all circuit court matters. Those are all issues that I have litigated on both sides. I'm the only candidate that has that experience. To a certain degree, having 28 years of experience, as Mr. Horner indicated, there's age sometimes gets us all. I'm 55 now. But in being 55, I've had a lot of life experience, which I think bears upon the judgment that any judge, he or she, would be required to utilize in that job, including sentencing defendants, including awarding custody or alimony to litigants in a divorce case, making the hard calls. One thing you learn to do as a litigator over 25 years is to let your clients know how it is. Because when I was a young lawyer, I could never deliver the bad news. And I've learned over time that you are where you are legally, and part of a judge's job is to deliver the law fairly, impartially, and if some cases, if it's bad news, it's bad news, but that's the job. I believe I'm up for it. I believe I've had the experience that shows that I'm up for it, and I hope to see you folks throughout the summer as the campaign unfolds, and I hope you can consider supporting my campaign, www.kincannonforjudge.com. I do have some cards with me, as well as Facebook, and I would caution you that I look far fatter on the website than I am in person. So, other than that, thank you very much for your time, Mr. President. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, good evening, Kyle Harris, County Commissioner. So it's been a little while since I've been here. Just wanted to come and give an update. Let's see where I want to start with the bad news. We'll start with taxes. So currently there are 2 millage proposals being discussed. There is no language that I'm aware of yet. One is for mosquito abatement. There's still currently 2 years left on the current millage. However, there's talk about putting that millage forward this year and getting it, renewing it sooner than later. I am not sure yet if it's going to be a renewal or an increase. Currently, mosquito abatement is in conversations with the Saginaw Charter Academy, if I'm correct, about selling their building to the academy, so that way the charter school can come in and add on. I think they would intend to knock the current building down and build a new facility there. If that's the case, mosquito abatement's gotta go somewhere. So where do they go? That's part of conversation too. I know there's discussion about buying an existing building, but to me, it seems like the discussion currently leans towards building a new facility. Initially, I was in favor of the idea, thinking that mosquito needed a new facility. I was under the impression that maintenance costs and whatnot were getting caught up to one that was better for a new facility. However, I have since learned that that is not the case. Maintenance isn't much of an issue. They haven't outgrown the building. County just likes the idea of selling to the schools. And I heard it's a ridiculous price. I don't quote me on this, but I heard it was like 20 grand they were looking at selling that building for. Whether that's accurate or not, I can't tell you 100%. But I have heard that if it's building a new building, we're looking at several $1 million. So if that's the case and they want to put that into the millage, then there's just no way I can support that. Unless you guys want me to, but I don't know who wants me to increase their taxes. And I haven't even heard of it, like I said, I haven't heard if it's gonna be a renewal or an increase. The other millage proposal that I heard might be coming is a road millage, 2 mills. Ideally, it's too late to get it on the August ballot. So I heard that that might be coming in November. Again, I was against that. I mean, I think for the last 6 years I've been saying that I am against the road commission being its own separate entity. I think it's a waste of money to have them. They are not a part of Saginaw County government. They are their own separate organization. And I've been arguing that we should turn them into a road department. They are a non-elected body. Michigan is the only state that has road commissions left, and a handful of counties have already gotten rid of them. And I've spoken to those counties over the years, and some of them have saved, I think the minimum was something like $100,000. There is a cost savings, but I just can't get our board to want to look into that. That said, I have serious troubles giving a non-elected body tax dollars. That said, having spoke to Dennis Borchard, the director, he informed me that he does not intend to take the money would just go right back to the township's municipalities. Until I see that in writing, I'm gonna be very skeptical of it. Again, it's not final, the county board hasn't seen anything, we have to prove it first to even get it on the ballot. If that and the other millage do go to the county board, I'm certain they'll both end up on the ballot, because that board just they don't see a tax increase they don't like. So that's where I stand right now. Again, both not definitive answers, but just keep an eye out for it. The county received $38 million, almost $39 million in ARPA funds. We have spent a couple million already on our employees. Part of that was if you got a vaccine, you got a $500 bonus. And if you worked through COVID, you got something like a $2,500 cash bonus. I opposed both of them. For one, we shouldn't be in the business of incentivizing, influencing, employees whether or not they go get vaccines or not. That's not, to me, a good use of taxpayer dollars. As well as giving them bonuses, that was, in my opinion, completely uncalled for, because employees who worked through COVID anyways got 80 extra hours of PTO last year. So now not only did they get 2 weeks vacation time, we're now giving them $2,500 extra. And again, that should not be coming out of ARPA funds. As far as I'm concerned, that is money that should be going back into the community, covering things that, took a hit during COVID, that shouldn't be going to our employees. The county did pull $10 million out of that, the remainder as revenue loss. What they'll do with it, that hasn't been decided yet, but I'm sure they'll find a way to waste it in the upcoming budget cycle. So that leaves roughly 20 to $25 million left. At some point here in the coming weeks, we will be making a decision, hopefully sooner than later, as to how that will be expended. Fire department, so Tri-Township Fire Department was one of 6 county fire departments to apply for funds. And our county administrator has said that the fire departments are not eligible for ARPA funds. And said that's per federal guidelines. Well, if you heard, Gratiot County has given all of their fire departments, I believe, $76,000 of their ARPA funds. Montrose Township is looking at buying a new fire truck with theirs. I think Jackson's looking at buying a new fire truck with theirs. So I have to go back and question the county, like, how can you determine that it's not eligible while everybody around us is? So they're looking into it. I haven't heard answers back yet. But I do believe that the fire departments will get their money. It's just whether it's gonna come from this pot over here or this pot over there, and one, it's gonna take longer to get. So hopefully sooner than later, departments will get it, but there's no definitive timeline. I really think that's everything I have, other than this is my 6th year as county commissioner for this part of the county, and it is my last. I am not running for re-election. 6 years is enough. I have other things to do. So with that, I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Did you get COVID money?
No,
Just checking.
no, we exempted all elected officials in Saginaw County. So, any other questions? All right, yes.
I have a question why they want to do a road millage when, where's our governor for that?
That was I think the biggest farce anybody could have ever believed when the state said they were gonna raise the gas tax here a handful of years back, and everybody thought the road in front of their house was gonna get fixed. At the time, I was still working in the legislature when that was passed, and you knew it was never gonna happen. Now, as far as I'm concerned, if townships do believe that their roads need to be fixed, the townships can address that themselves. I don't see why we need to have a county-wide. But if the voters want it, then so be it. They can have that opportunity to vote for it if it makes it to the ballot. I generally try to poll my own constituents to see, so I think in my 6 years, I've only voted for 1 out of between 10 and 15 millage increases to put it on the ballot. That was the sheriff's millage here a couple years ago. And the rest I voted against, and it looks like I might have a chance to vote against 2 more before I'm done. Unless you guys tell me otherwise.
In other words, we're gonna fix the damn roads.
That is the other thing. I was out in Brant Township last night, and I believe they said that 2 mills gets them $111,000 extra. That really doesn't do anything. You can chip seal a few miles of road, and that's about it. So. Other than that, are there any other questions?
You do, what are you, road commissioner? Is that what you said you are?
No, county commissioner.
The what?
County commissioner?
County commissioner.
Road commission is a separate entity.
Okay.
So, anybody else? Sorry, I don't mean to have my back to the audience here, but,
All right.
well, with that then, I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. Anyone else?
I got an issue. Need to have some kind of a proposal on or about April 20th. My name's Paul Jenderski. I live at 510 East Bell Avenue. On or about April 20th, we had water from the, I don't know if you want to say snow or rain or whatever, and every year we get flooded down there. There is no drain system at all up and down East Bell Avenue. It stops at Miami. And them 2 drains that are there have been plugged up several times. It's been common knowledge throughout the whole neighborhood that them drains do not work. Now myself, I sent pictures to Hartman and told him about it. He's gonna get with Don Ackerman, go down and look at it, whether he did or not. He never got back to me. I did send you the pictures. And I've got the pictures on my phone here, and it's crazy how much water there. Just because I'm the lowest spot in the neighborhood, it's gonna end up ruining my foundation. Mosquitoes get caught up in there when it rains because of all the water pools there, and there's no place to pump it. There's no drain in front of me. The closest drain is on Miami and Bell Avenue on the other side of Yankees' house, and there's literally no place for me to pump it. So now I'm in a spot. I don't know what to do with it. Would I pump it to the neighbor's yard? I mean, do I put dirt in there and push?
end up pushing the water to the neighbors, and he'll just have the same problem. I mean, I don't know what to do. I think something needs to be taken care of. I mean, I pay my taxes just like the rest of these people do. They've got the drain, I don't. Up and down Bell Avenue, there is no drain from Miami all the way down to Gilmore's. So I don't know what to do, but we gotta do something because it's ruining my house. I'm gonna end up with mold problems or something, and something needs to be, and even if they did it another 50 yards down the road to Wayne Street right there, it would be fine. I'd have a place to drain it. I have no place to drain that water at all. Even if I put a crock underneath my house, I could pump it out, but it's just gonna drain right back in because it's a low spot. So something needs to be done, something needs to be looked at. Have Mr. Ackerman or Hart, whoever, come down and look at it. Like I said, I've got pictures, I've told him about it, and nobody's ever got back with me, and it needs to be addressed. So I don't know what we can do or say about it, and then as far as the truck thing, I still haven't heard back about anything about that. So, about the parking with the truck. You're not even gonna put it, not even gonna address it?
It don't work that way.
The planning commission's not even complete, we're about 90% complete with the zoning ordinance. The next 2 months, we're gonna review the last year and a half of the work we've done before we put it, out to the public.
Well, I'm still seeing, other commercial vehicles. I'm not gonna mention any names or point any fingers, but, why I'm singled out, I don't know.
That's the way to get something
No,
done.
it's not the way it is. You do it for one, you do it for everybody.
Pardon me?
You don't just do it to one person, single somebody out. If the law is the law, then it's the law. You don't
Practice
single
in
one
this,
person out, you
practice
do
in
everybody.
this municipality has been to always enforce by complaint.
By complaint.
You've got a
And then you
complaint, complaint.
Just like you said, it's by complaint, so then you're saying that I don't have the right to address my accuser?
No.
If somebody was accusing you of something, don't you think you have the right to find out who that is so you can maybe take care of it?
Are you violating?
I don't know, am I? Obviously, according to you guys, I am, because Mr. Crowfoot's down there sending me letters, so obviously I am.
Obviously you are.
Okay, then if I
Have you
am,
cured your
who's the accuser?
complaint?
You said I couldn't.
I didn't say it.
Last time I was here, you said I could not, I don't have that right to know who's doing it. It's complaint based, and I didn't have the right to it.
Well, I don't remember that, but it's possible.
Yeah,
But the idea of it is have you cured your complaint
pretty
against
much,
you?
but like I said, I was up here the last time saying, if somebody's gonna accuse you of something, so we can take care of it civilly, and I have the right to address my accuser, get a name, what date, time, and a brief paragraph of what the problem is, maybe we can resolve it. And, yeah, we said that the last time I was up here, a couple months ago. Well, something needs to be done. I don't know what else to do with that, but then definitely with the drain thing, because we got mosquitoes, I'm gonna end up losing my foundation, mold problems,
And
mosquitoes.
it wasn't an email sent, Paul came in, he showed me the photos, I reached out to Don has investigated, I'm not sure what more we can do, it is.
The drainage is poor, every
Yeah.
time the river comes up, everything that side of the.
Anything on that side of the track's always been underwater for
That's what I was gonna say.
100 years.
That's been
Well, I mean, you
flooded
can at
for
least get an
years.
HVAC down there, stick it down there, suck some of the sand out of there, or whatever you gotta do once in a while anyways. I mean, it's all backed up. It always is. I mean, you ran a jet system through there not so long ago, a year or two ago, and pushed all that sand out of there, cleaned it all out, washed it down to the drain to the river. I mean, to get an HVAC in there and just suck it out once in a while, because they've been complaining about it flooding right there, and nothing seems to ever be done, so.
The one major drain there is a county drain, it's not a village drain too. The one that runs from the pump station on the angle there.
Yeah, goes underneath my mom's
Yeah,
property there.
It's actually a county drain.
Well, I think that's the one.
Well,
they-
Kyle's here, how convenient. Just kidding, Kyle.
That's not his jurisdiction.
Do you have something to say, guy?
But that's a branch off from Miami, going down towards that, I think that's a branch off from
Yeah,
there.
no.
There's a couple drains there, but that's the closest one that's to my house. And I have no way of pumping anything. I'd have to go either over across my neighbor's yard, or across the road, get a pump and go across the road where people would be driving over my hose, getting pumped across the road. And that ain't even really a ditch. There's not really nothing there between, I guess it'd be, crossing bots there. There's just a little, I wouldn't even call it a ditch. There's no place for that
Anytime
to
the
even
river
drain.
comes up, that whole area is.
Say that again?
So anytime the river comes up, the drainage is poor in that.
Oh, I know, I understand that, it usually doesn't come up that far, but it just seems to be like that area right there, after they put that house in and back of me, and flares floods a little bit, but, seems like I'm the low spot in the neighborhood, and there's no place for me to drain. I have nowhere for that to pump. Ray Walker come in there, and he suggested, pumping it, Putting a crock in, I told him, I said, where are you gonna pump it? Where am I gonna pump it to? He said, good point. Other than that, we'd have to tear the fence down and haul a bunch of dirt in, it's just gonna push it to another guy's house. He's gonna have the same problem. So, I can make the pictures up, I can bring it to you guys can look it over, come on over anytime and check it out. I mean, but it's low, it's low. It's getting to the point, like I said, where it's gonna end up ruining my foundation, and so we got mosquitoes and whatever, because anytime it rains, that's where it pools, so it needs to be addressed, though. Yeah, out of the whole street, I think I'm the lowest spot.
Was your house raised up after the flood or
I
not?
don't think so,
It was one.
not that one. No, that was Toski's old house.
Yeah, 'cause most of them either got raised up or
Mhm.
demolished.
But even when the
But
water
it was
comes up, it
left
don't
up to
come up
the
into
owner
the
for it
house.
if they wanted.
I don't know what the rules were back in '86.
I think it was.
Well, I think Yankees house was a Toski house at one time, and I believe that got raised, but the one next door where I live, I don't believe it got raised, so. But it's up high enough, water never comes up into the house, maybe the garage a little bit, but anyways, it needs to be addressed, because, like I said, if I can't even put a crock in, because there's no place to pump it, so. I don't know what else to tell you, but definitely need to do something about it. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Anyone else? Moving on. Spicer report.
Good evening. I think you guys all got a copy of the report. Were there any questions right off the bat? Go through a couple of project updates. Drinking water asset management grant, we finished up the hydro excavation out in the field. Kind of the next step of that project's working with DPW, Don, working in verifying services inside of the house. If you remember correctly, we sent out a flyer originally to have residents send in what their water service was if they were one of the randomly selected. I would say out of the 174, what we figure, we got about 20 that were legible that you could see, and maybe another 20 more that were of not water services, or you couldn't see, verify the material. So right now, we're working on coordinating with the residents, getting back to verify that interior location as part of the grant. Pipe Tech, the contractor, we've been in contact with them. Their plan is to come back and clean up, restoration, finish that up. Probably, I think they wanted to come tomorrow, was it? But we're pushing them up to next week. They gotta go back and touch up all the locations, add topsoil and seed. I think Don and Hart have been getting a few complaints on those and address them as necessary. So we'll get that taken care of. And then kind of moving into the next part of the project, we'll get into the actual asset management plan and keep that moving forward. Any questions on that, the drinking water asset management grant? Moving on to phase 1 and the rural development application, continuing to move forward on that project. We met with Don and Hart last week. There was a slight change of scope, which I believe the work directive change is in the packet. At the old water tower, we're going to be abandoning the existing water main and getting everything on the new 12-inch water main that was put in previously. So there's gonna be a little bit of additional design work, and then CA obviously when we get to that. As we talked with Don, that's gotta be part of the project, getting off that old system, completely abandoning that tower, so there's no issues down the line. Don, did you have anything else you wanted to add on that?
Yeah, there's two parallel lines, there's a brand new 12-inch that feeds the new tower. And when they ran that, they never connected Water Street to the new line, it still fed off the old 8-inch that runs by the water tower, and it's like, it needs to be completely abandoned and hooked to the new water system, and it's just an accident waiting to happen, I guess, for something like Woodland.
That
But
area's
that is
kind
in
of-
the plan.
What's that?
That is in the plan?
We'd like
That's
to add
the addition?
it, we'd like to add it to it, yes.
Okay.
That area, like Don said, needs to be cleaned up. You've got the new water main there, it needs to be on the new system, and included in part of this project. Plan is to meet next week, hopefully, and keep this moving forward, get it wrapped up, get the preliminary estimate of cost, so we can keep moving forward on that RD application. I think still shooting on bidding winter, late fall, early winter, right now. Thing Category B grant is coming up, it's due in June. We're going to try and incorporate that into the project to try and get some of the road work paid for. Work with Hart on that in the submittal. So, everything's moving along, busy, a lot going on. If you guys got any questions? Oh, well, Michigan Municipal League, Spicer has written an article using the village of St. Charles and the proactive approach you've taken to the asset management, sitting down with Hart tomorrow to go through that article. Hart's seen the draft of it. Once we get that complete, I can give it to you, Hart, and you can pass it along. Like I say, he read the draft, I think you're happy with it.
Yeah.
Just discusses the village completed the SAW grant, now they're working on the drinking water asset management and, using the state funds and taking the proactive approach to the capital improvement of the water, sanitary, and storm sewer system, so. Any questions?
Tomorrow we're meeting,
Tomorrow, yep,
talk about, you already mentioned that?
that was the MML article,
Oh,
yep.
I thought there was a second article.
The second article will be straight lines that Spicer does, and it's just
Okay.
on the drinking water asset management grant.
Okay.
Kind of, the two articles coincide with each other. The article that'll be in straight line specifically focuses on the project we're working on right now with lead copper. The MML article is more so on, the overall asset management, including the SAW grant and the drinking water asset management grant that was received by the village. That's all I've got.
Any questions? You are free to go, as well as Kyle, Andrew, if you don't have to stay around if you don't want to.
Thank you. If you guys have any questions, get them to Hart or Don, and we can get it taken care of, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move on to the council meeting minutes for April 13th. Any question on those? If not, your motion to accept them?
I make a motion to approve the council minutes of April 13th. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Committee reports, Downtown Development Authority for May 6th. Any question on those minutes?
I have one question. Hart, if you can tell me. Do you know why they tabled the kayak thing?
Nope. You can only table something for a month, so we'll talk about it next month.
Okay.
But they wanted more information, so I sent all the photos that I have from other municipalities, more information. They have everything else, but I think they just want a little time to think about it.
Okay.
I supplied information of the letters of support for previous grants I've written to try to get somebody else to pay for it. So I think they just wanted time.
How much would it cost? Are they thinking, like, what's their estimate? Do they have an estimate on how much a kayak launch would?
The quote I have from Easy Dock is a little under $37,000.
Okay.
What about this idea on lights to brighten up the outdoor areas? What outdoor areas are you looking at?
Right downtown, the first boulevard. So if you go to Midland or Bay City or some places up north, they have lights that stream across that just, they look nice. Nice features, and then we were thinking down, whether it's hometown days or old fashioned Christmas, that as the parade ends there, it would look nice. Again, these would be DDA funds, not taxpayers, dollars per se, not village funds, but.
Are they waiting on quotes on that too?
Yep, so I reached out to Selena, from Midland, their DDA executive director, on companies that they used, how much it costs, what kind of energy it uses. I wanna have all the ducks in a row. I haven't heard back, but I've seen other places. There's a place that my wife and I go to up north, and we'll even stop and take pictures at night in front of it. It's pretty cheesy, but it just looks nice.
Where's that at?
Just west of Petoskey.
Oh, I'd like to check it out.
Well, yeah, there's the bridge in Midland, and then Bay City has it, and then the the presentation was kind of, Dana from Bay City was there. It's the managers meeting I go to every, last Friday of every month. And it's like the best form, of imitation, flattery is imitation, and so we just try to bounce ideas off of each other and bring them to our villages and cities and just add nice little touches for people, and eventually, hopefully, there's a nice little park downtown, next to Tony's that people can sit at and add another feature and get people to, maybe make it a social district.
In the summer, it'd be really good ambiance to have that.
I think a social district downtown with a park you could go sit at and hang out and enjoy hometown days or whatever else we can bring downtown, car show, something like that. Anybody notice the new banners around town, speaking of DDA funds?
Nice,
They look pretty nice, I
very
thought,
nice,
compared to what we had.
yes.
Thanks to DPW for hanging those. I think it's a nice look, especially when we had, over 2,000 people in town on Saturday for Rebel Magnolia. Nice welcome introduction. And they wanna come back, later this year in the fall, so
Good.
we'll see what we can do.
Any other questions or comments?
Hey, Hart, is that how you spell that lady's name from Bay City? Is that, what's her last name?
Tinsdale?
No,
Oh,
Did I spell it wrong? That's, it happens. Spell check didn't pop up on that one, huh?
Moving on, Parks and Recreation Committee, April 20th. Any question on those minutes?
Did we ever bring those girls up for them?
It's coming next week. It's on the agenda. We have signage, with quotes from Dan. They're gonna range it in from $610 for one sign to $250 for another. We're gonna see what's in the budget and see what we can replace or fix up, because some of those are in dire need of some, paint or change. So I'll bring that to them next week and to you next month.
Any other questions?
I know that we have porta potties in the park, I understand that. Is there any way to get new toilets in those bathrooms?
In the concessions, or
Yeah.
we could look into it.
They're so bad,
Are they?
they're so bad.
We could look into it.
They're in the condition as they were put in there.
They're just cool metal toilets.
Those have been there forever.
I mean, they're in good condition for what they are.
It's just, like, nobody wants to use them, cause when it's hot, then it's all condensation. Do you wanna sit on a condensation toilet? Cause I surely
If I
don't.
gotta use it bad enough, I'll use it.
That is disgusting.
They're clean. They were put in there.
I believe those were a DNR grant, and we could look into it, but
They're vandal proof, and that's what you need.
we're having them cleaned every Friday, Saturday for the
Yeah,
weekends.
the way the kids were tearing that park up,
Yeah, you put anything porcelain in there, it's gone.
tear it up, yeah.
Could you put the cover things? Would that help? Because I agree with Don, I think it vandalized,
That's why
Yeah.
they were put in there.
Yeah, and I don't see
makes
where
sense.
they're all that bad.
And what,
I
how many,
thought it
and
was
how many
some
porta
sort of
johns do you
that.
have? We
There's
have
two.
handicap accessible.
Nothing further? Planning Commission, April 21st. Any questions on those ones?
I would just note that the highlighted section we will be, voting on later this evening, but as for the last year, we've been working on this zoning rewrite, doing it the right way. It's not the fastest process, but we've been very thorough. Again, it's been a year and a half almost. I think we budgeted $19,000 last year for this and another 19 this year. We're 90% complete. I don't think Roe will be at the next two meetings, as the planning commission's gonna review the work that's done. We've talked about many things, from marijuana, which I think will come back up, to chickens, to baby goats, to dogs, to kennels, to semi-trucks, to,
Chickens?
just about everything.
Chickens.
Fences, adult entertainment businesses, variances, parking lot sizes, parking spot sizes. Very thorough. It's not fun. It's, sent off some things to the lawyer just to have him review to make sure we're not doing anything out of our purview or out of our, abilities, and, process continues.
Hard work, but it'll be a good quality
Yeah.
masterpiece.
It'll be better than prior.
Yeah, but it sounds like a lot of work.
From what I understand from Mrs. Coots, that when they did it in the past, a lot of the things that they wanted in there were omitted at the end or didn't get put in. So this is a fresh document that we'll be able to enforce or make sure the village residents are within their rights.
Yeah.
While taking a, liberal view of it.
I'm glad.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, and it's needed. Long time needed, just. Cool.
Any further questions on the planning commission? If not, do I hear a motion to accept and file the Downtown Development Authority, Parks and Recreation Committee, and Planning Commission meetings?
I'll make a
Minutes.
motion. Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Moving on to communications, bid vacation day letter.
May 13th, 2022. I believe teachers will begin at 6:30 in the morning at the school prepping for this. They wanted to thank us for our donation, as our yearly donation, as we do. As I mentioned, I met with Don and Lori Orr for about an hour and 45 minutes last week to make sure that we're all on the same page so that we can get Beautification Day to 50 years smoothly. Doug Holland's been in town working already. We're down to 200 kids, which, we had 400 at one time, but it's kind of the reality of what's happening to a lot of small villages, townships throughout America. That said, Don and the guys have started laying the right mulch at the right places and the free wood chips at the free wood chip places, and we have some volunteer help. That's been the problem lately, is people sign up to volunteer and they help for the first week they're gung ho, the second week they get to it when they can get to it, the third week they look at it, the fourth week they're done. So we've taken and stepped up on some of the watering. We do have some volunteers to water the hanging baskets that will be there in front of certain buildings, and if you know anybody that wants to help, send them to Lori Orr's way. Use all the help we can get. It is the seniors' last day as well, I believe, so that's why it's moved up a week early. Get them while you have them, or you have no help. But
Any questions on this? Move on to payment of claims. Any questions on the payment of claims? If not, do I hear a motion to accept as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the payment of claims for $129,826.26.
Support?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. New business. Acceptance of resignation.
On May 4th of last week, Mayor Pro Tem Christine Newman sent in and submitted her resignation letter. She wanted no fanfare, no party, no plaques, nothing with her name on it. She has it already, she said. Anything that you can get from the village, she has. So after dedicating nearly 47 years of her life to this village, she's going to enjoy retirement and stay up north as long as she can when summer finally gets here. So I'd like to thank Christine for all she's done for myself, for this building, for this town. Hasn't always been easy, but she's done a tremendous job and always asked the tough questions, the right questions, and I just want to thank her. And she's still a phone call away if anybody needs her, but
She's wearing a lot of hats.
she's done a lot here. I think she came here at 20-some years old to work on
Out of high school,
right out of high school and
out of college.
Michigan State, and raised her family here, and just time has come. So thank her for the service if you see her and out in the community, and we will begin the process of appointing someone to fulfill her term. We'll post this in the paper this weekend, and we'll accept letters of interest until we'll say the Wednesday or the Tuesday before our next meeting, and we will open them then and review and discuss publicly. And see what comes in. Look at everything from resumes to letters to demeanors to whatever you can find. So that will be that.
Okay. No further questions, let's move on to the resolution as part of the congressional appropriations request. Big word.
One before that, letter B, it's just a draft at this time, it'll go to the planning commission
Oh,
next
I'm
week.
sorry.
But it's the Municipal Sanctions Bureau for ordinance violations. This will get us up to code so that Scott can legally do his job. And we have increased the civil infractions in order to pay for our court costs if it gets to that point. There are some changes that will be made by next week, but this is just a draft for you to review, as it will be coming to you as part of the entire zoning rewrite code enforcement package. But again, just another thing that we reviewed, we discussed in length, we sent to the lawyer, we'll get it back, we'll review it again, and we'll eventually vote on it. We'll put it out to the public before it gets to the planning commission, before it gets to you, and Rome wasn't built in a day, but it was destroyed in a day. So that was just for you, for now.
Thank you.
Never started.
Now the resolution is a part of congressional appropriations.
So as part of the Phase 1 water system improvements, I have applied for a congressional appropriations request to Congressional Molinar's office, hoping to get federal funds to pay for our Phase 1. I submitted 5 letters of support from Kelly Cornford, Mark Benson, Don Ackerman, Chief Levins, and I can't think of the last one. I'll have to check.
Mr.
Oh,
Mayor,
President Horner, you did yours, I forgot. Along with the application, it helps if you have a resolution of support from the village council. I'm not sure if it's one of those things we have a shot at, it doesn't hurt. Are they gonna notice the $3 million appropriation when they're wasting trillions of dollars a day? Probably not, so maybe we can slide it through and get something paid for. With maybe taxpayer dollars from Iowa or something. That's a joke, don't get that in there.
Good to me.
So I'm hoping for your support for this, and we can focus on getting some roads fixed, some water mains fixed, some pipes fixed,
Drains fixed.
some drains. All of the above.
Do you hear a motion for resolution 22-6?
I make a motion that we pass resolution 22-6.
Support for that motion?
Support.
Roll call?
Lois Tiley,
Yes.
Diane Dennis,
Yes.
Richard Horner,
Yes.
Michael Nesbitt,
Yes.
Kathy Harris,
Yes.
and Sarah Tiley.
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Anytime you can go get more money, all you gotta do is ask. We'll be glad to help.
Next item is the revised fee schedule. Wait a minute, something missing there. No, that's it.
So revised fee schedule is on your planning minutes highlighted. This was the recommendation based on discussion with the planning commission in order to pay for residential and commercial hearings. Basically, when we post it to the Tri-Township or Tri-County Citizen, ends up costing us more and we end up eating the request. So we thought this should get our fee schedule in line. And fee schedule would be as follows: $300 for a residential hearing and $500 for a commercial hearing. We reviewed other municipalities, most have residential and commercial at 500. Some have them both at 700. So we're trying to be fair to the residents and kind of, if the businesses have the money for the variance and to put in the commercial, they probably have money to help us pay for the ad that we have to put in as we send it out to the paper, every residence within 300 feet, et cetera, et cetera.
We don't need a motion for this today. We do?
We do.
We do. Do you hear a motion in support of the fee schedule?
I move to accept the revised fee schedule.
Support for that?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public contracts. Again?
Hubble hasn't raised the rates on us in quite some time. I'm trying to think, I want to say a decade, but at least 5 years. And so these will raise the rates to check on keep us up and running anytime the electricity goes down. There's one for the office, one for the lift station, and one for the DPW barn. These are generators. They replace the oil. He checks everything, make sure that we never go down. So at the police, they're always able to operate 24/7, and we can do the things we need to do in the office, regardless if there's electricity down in the village.
Keeps the main lift station running in the power outage.
That's
Very important.
It's very important.
Because we don't want stuff flowing uphill. It's not good,
Yeah.
you know.
Doesn't go there very good, does it? So do we need
Need a motion for it separately or all together?
I just have a quick question.
all together or?
All the other.
You hear a motion for all three contracts?
I just have a quick question.
Oh,
Have we ever checked into other places that do this? Do we, is there? or is this about
he hasn't raised his rates in probably 10 to 15
Okay.
years, we
That's
haven't
why I
really
wondered if it was
had to go
this
out.
is the actual-
Now, if you think this is,
Average going rate or?
yeah, this is still pretty cheap,
Okay.
if I'm being quite honest, and
These are-
I don't want that on the record either.
that is yearly
We are
rate
getting a
change.
deal here, and I think we should keep getting a deal.
Okay, all right.
Well, he grew up.
He does a good job servicing the business.
Yeah.
Yes,
Just wondered if.
yes.
And
Okay.
the library's having issues with people even coming out to check on issues with theirs, so,
Oh, okay.
so that even the fact that he'll come out.
I
is
think he
good.
would be fair, he grew up here forever, so
Yeah.
he's lived here since a kid.
He's been very good to us.
Moved away a bit,
Okay.
now back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, is your motion for the 3 contracts?
I'll make a motion to accept the 3 contracts here.
Support for the motion?
I'll support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. It right.
IT right. This is our,
I read it like that too.
this is our
Yeah, he writes it
technology
that way.
provider.
It's our age is what it is. We're not used to initials.
So they're our network consultant. They help us with our BSNA system, our servers. They handle mostly small municipalities in mid-Michigan. They have direct client support. They have tickets that they open and close with us. You're talking to a person, not a machine. They can log into your computer. It's a great company. They haven't raised their rates in quite some time either. They do a great job. They've treated us very, very fairly. They are going up annual 3%. Obviously, you look at inflation at 8.5, or could be higher if they're being truthful. As they change some of the mathematics to make the numbers look less worse than they really are. But this is the cost of doing business, I believe.
Any questions?
So you
gotta
guys,
pay for it.
you're happy with this company?
Very happy, especially when it comes to the BSNA side of things, which is mostly what Marguerite does, so.
This is
That's
the-
how we accept water, sewer bills. Most of our work goes through there. Cash receiving.
Any questions?
And
Your
they,
motion to approve the new contract?
I'll make a motion to approve the IT contract.
Support?
support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Tree City, USA. Oh, no, Spicer change.
This is what Mitchell was talking about earlier as we, the improvements to phase 1 water system. We met with Don and we kind of talked about abandoning the existing water main up by the old water tower and connecting on. So this is the cost to change that. Again, going after congressional appropriation for this, but if not, we'll be going after a U.S. Rural Development loan. We're going after a grant, but we don't qualify really, but we'll have a loan to help pay for this over time, so. I don't like saying it's the cost of doing business, I hate that, I'm a little upset I said that, but, this is to change the scope of the work, and this is what it will cost us.
Any questions?
Unfortunately, no.
Pardon?
The line serves no purpose basically, and the only purpose it serves is feeding East Water Street, which is a newer main.
They just left.
That it should have been connected to the.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a piece of work that needs to be done, and we can abandon a good chunk of some old 1939 water main.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Is that gonna help their flooding at all?
Hopefully that kind of flooding we don't see.
Dumb
but,
question.
It's that, basically that block of Chesaning Street that was abandoned. It ties into to the new river crossing, which, anyway, it just needs to go. There's no reason to have a parallel line there that feeds nobody. It's just a ticking time off something. Someday something's gonna happen to it.
Well, sure, something's gonna break, you'd be there down there in the middle of the night. trying to fix something that should have been fixed 100 years
Now, if we
ago.
ever did do something with that property, it would be abandoned property.
I'm all for
So here a motion to approve the Spicer change order number 3 for phase 1.
I make a motion to accept Spicer change order number 3.
Support for that motion.
I'll support.
All those in favor?
it.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now, Tree City USA.
I thought as part of Beautification Day, it would help if we were an official Tree City USA. It is, there are some requirements entailed. Basically, you have to spend at least $2 per resident on trees, tree removal, trimming, which we do, in our capital improvement fund as well as, local streets, things of that nature. So, part of this, I've started submitting the application. They will not review them until September, but I thought it's one of those, if you're gonna apply for this grant or this title, you need the official proclamation. Thought it lined up perfectly with Beautification Day. At the same time, I will use this Tree City USA designation in order to go after grant funds towards free trees towards the village.
Wonderful, more free money. More
Uh,
free money,
yeah,
more free
free-
money.
More
I think it's a
Donated
great
money,
idea.
hopefully, donated money. So last year was Keep Michigan Beautiful, or the KMB donated $500. We received, certain monies from the township to purchase a few trees for the parks, things of that nature, but this allows us to keep going after those so that, the village doesn't have to pay for it, but we get to
We're
plan
gonna use
on.
these guys for tree service, is that what you're saying? Or just gonna plant some trees?
It's a title, it's
Replanting trees.
it's a nonprofit foundation throughout America, that once you get the designation, you're allowed to apply for grants, to have somebody else donate trees towards
The
you.
village itself is applying for grants, we got tree people that live right in town, we should keep busy first, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Oh, we try to keep them busy.
What do you mean by that?
We got acorn, other people, I'm just saying.
It's
keep-
not to cut.
This
it's
is
to-
not- this
I'd
is-
love to understand what
Yeah,
you're saying.
yeah, so this is to have brand new trees donated to us, so we don't
Said
have to.
something about tree service, like taking trees.
gotta-
Oh, no,
Yeah, there's
no,
that
we
whole
go out to bid on Acorn, Thurston,
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that, yeah. We just
Just
spent
saying,
20,
Why go out of town when you can?
this is for grants.
We're not out of town.
Last year, I got a grant to buy some trees
next month.
for the organization.
So what do we need for this?
Need
Just a
motion.
vote, just a
We need
vote
to
to
vote?
approve the proclamation.
Yes.
Motion and a second first.
Yes.
Roll call as well.
Have a second?
I'll support.
Go ahead. Okay. Lois Tiley,
All those in
Yes.
favor?
Diane Dennis,
Yes.
Richard Horner,
Yes.
Michael Nesbitt,
Yes.
Kathy Harris,
Yes.
Yes.
So do we get a plaque or something then?
Eventually,
That said
eventually,
National
next
Tree
year,
Service.
when we get approved in September.
Okay.
Item I.
Saginaw Future Contract, they submitted their agreement for services. As you recall, when I got here, I didn't think we were getting what we were paying for, so we lessened the amount to them, to the amount of $500. They have been helping with a few projects that we're working on, but nothing's come to fruition. So this is to renew our payment of $500 to them. As you recall, again, when I got here, we were sending $1,000 to Saginaw, for one meeting a year, is what it felt like. Now we're more in contact, better ideas for the DDA. We're down in line with Village of Chesapeake Township, City of Zilwaukee, Richland Township, Village of Bergeron, Village of Merrill, instead of up there with, Kochville. So, I think it's a good use of some of the ideas they brought to our DDA. They have been trying to help us sell a few of these buildings. They do put them on their website. We do have some interest. We do have a few that will be going off to auction in September, hopefully to the land bank by December, and we can get new tenants by next year. And at least 2 out of the 3 downtown, so. This is just the agreement for services in the amount of $500 to Saginaw Future. If you'd like to look at what their annual report says, feel free to take it home, you don't have to check it out.
So we just need to make a motion to pay Saginaw Futures.
Correct.
Okay,
Support?
so done. Yep.
Support?
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
I would just add that we've already appropriated the funds as part of our budget process, where we had 3 separate budget meetings discussing it. As you see on the handout, they have 12 St. Charles area buildings listed and 3 St. Charles area sites listed, so it's basically we're paying them to host the website and do a little work for us.
Last item on the list is the hometown, St. Charles Hometown Day.
Last year, the previous year, we set timeframes and dates for hometown days as it does, we do close off the boulevard for such events. This will be the 3rd annual, I believe. First year was just 1 boulevard, last year was 2. Last year they had more vendors, food trucks, the likes. They're looking to do it again October 2nd, 11 to 3. I believe they want to use both boulevards once again, which it's not a village sanctioned event per se, but it's something that we can agree to and kind of give everybody a heads up that both boulevards will be blocked off for this date at these times. So. They included their fall vendor agreement, which again, it's a separate entity from us, so I try not to get too involved because, again, not a village sanctioned event, but it does bring people to town. Does allow people to shop local, hit our restaurants, our bars, etc., etc.
Any direction on that?
Just a motion signifying that you're okay with blocking off the boulevard October 2nd from 10 a.m. or 9 a.m., whatever it is, till 4 o'clock that day. DPW some overtime, moving some barricades. You're welcome down.
It's usually not me.
You hear that motion?
I'll make a motion that we allow hometown days to block the boulevards for their event.
Support.
Support? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Moving on to departmental reports.
Yay.
DPW report. Anything left?
On the water side, we basically took our sample for disinfection byproducts. Sampled, there was nothing that exceeded the limits. The sewer, we're finished discharge in cell number 3. The streets is pretty much routine patching, sweeping. We did, from the one water main break up by Tony's this winter, the road was collapsing, so we pulled out the concrete and asphalt and put cold patch in there. It's just something we're gonna have to maintain until it finally finished, settles, and probably this fall, actually asphalt it, so. That was from that, we had a pretty bad leak up by Tony's, and we just basically shut those 2 blocks of that water main off and reconnected the dentist office to the new main, and that was part of this new project to do anyway, so.
You think that settling was from the water leak?
It was, you know, when we pulled it out, you could tell, yeah. It's probably a good thing we didn't repair it, because the frost was deep, where the water came up and where the leak was were quite a ways away from each other. So we would have had quite a chunk of road ripped up if we would have actually repaired it, so. When that settles, by this fall, we'll pull that out of there and patch it with asphalt. And other than that, we're just the regular mulch leaves at the park, drag the diamonds, and we've been working on stoning the trail edge in the woods there. It's starting to get.
I saw that.
Edge is dropping off there, so. We'll probably be cutting some more trees if we get Sam's helping that disc golf course. I don't know if you walked out there lately.
I did. There's one I almost tried to jump on and pull down myself and get it out of the way.
All those Christmas trees that were planted who knows, they're all dying at the same age, they're all,
I thought we could probably get a truck back there, at least spend a day loading up some of that.
we're probably gonna,
Towards, I guess it'd be south side of the rink.
we're gonna take a day and just put a chain on someone, try to drag them, get them on the ground anyway, instead of hung up into the canopy, but
We got a nice loader out there, though.
it's pretty tight. There ain't a lot of room, so, if we could get Sam again another round, it would probably help.
He's had a baby, he's a little busy.
That's all I have, you have any questions, comments?
Yes, when's the next, is there another brush pickup
First full week of every month.
first full week of every month?
Yep.
Okay. Got some trees going.
Yeah, we put it out, if it's out by the first Monday, we try to get it Monday or Tuesday if the weather permits, so.
Okay,
Put her out there, we'll get her.
okay.
So I have a quick question, Don, just for my information, I guess. When Spicer was doing the garage stuff around town here,
Yeah.
he put flags in our front yard.
I don't know if yours was one of them or not, but
Well,
if they were,
Steve Swartz pulled them up.
that's fine. Once
That's
the
okay.
work, once the work's done, they can,
Okay, I just wondered
yeah,
if,
no, they can be.
I thought you guys would come back and get them or whatever. Your Spicer-
Technically, the contractor probably should have pulled them, but the
Okay.
homeowners usually do.
I see them out there pulling them, I'm like, what's he doing?
They did pull them in a lot of the places.
Most of the yards they did, that must have been one they.
They took
just-
all mine out.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's after the project's done, they can pull them, so.
Okay.
I had a blue flag at one time, and then I noticed different colored flags, and then
That's for
my
cold
blue
water.
one, my blue one disappeared, but that was long ago.
Well, we tried to recycle most of ours, so, with the other
They're
ones.
expensive.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who took them or,
Gone.
yeah, that's all right.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Police department report,
Chief had to leave on a call.
yeah. Review it over and bring it up next meeting. And the building inspector,
All right, I had, 2 permits this month, that was it, or I should say in April. 8 complaints, of the 8, 5 have been resolved, cleaned by the owner. That's all I have. The others were waiting for the completion of the ordinances, so I can hopefully start writing tickets. And I'm gonna send another letter out to the one on the bottom there on Oak about their vehicles. They have cleaned up a little bit, but they still have a junk vehicle in the yard, so. And that's all I have. Any questions?
thank you, Scott.